Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news. Joining BJ Rains today is KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's Mike Prater. Listen to Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 95.3 FM The Ticket and online at KTIK.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, here's Mike Prater and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Thursday to you here at Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. This is our daily morning show here called Bronco Nation News Live. We have a different co-host every day helping us talk Boise State athletics. You can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We'd love to continue to build that up. We just passed 3,300 subscribers, and we're hoping to get to 4,000 by the end of the year. We'll see if we can pull that off. But Thursdays, one of our better viewed days of the week because other fan bases tune in to see who Mike Prater is going to piss off next. So Mike Prater joins us for his Thursday edition. How we doing, Mike?
I got no beef with the people of Memphis. I like the Memphis football program. Actually, I could care less about the Memphis football program, but nothing negative to say about the Tigers in the home of Graceland. So let's get after it today, BJ.
I thought you'd take some shots at Elvis or somebody at least on it.
No, me and the fat guys got to stick together. So I've actually been to Graceland. One of my all-time greatest college football weekends was spent in Memphis. I can share that story with you one of these days. And all kinds of. I almost died. I went to Graceland. I voted for a president. It was a crazy, crazy, crazy weekend. But I like Memphis. I'm jealous you guys get to go. And I know the team's leaving today, and a bunch of other media members are leaving today. So safe travels and bring home a victory on this one. How about if I just say that?
Yeah, the team is actually staying at the guest house at Graceland, a very nice, luxurious hotel, which is literally right across the street from Graceland. So they'll be able to say they saw Graceland out their window maybe or through the bus. Me and my wife actually drove. It's pretty expensive, but we saw it and did the little free thing and pulled over on the side and saw his house at least back when KU was in the Liberty Bowl against Arkansas last year. So I've been to the area, seen it, didn't pay to go inside the museum and all that, but yeah, pretty fascinating. Yeah, kind of a unique side story here. Obviously you got Beale Street, you got some barbecue. It's going to be a fun. I remember, during that Liberty Bowl thinking, this would be a fun trip for Boise State fans to make. And obviously not much on the game, maybe as some, back then you would have thought there might've been a 2-2 football team, but still a big game for Boise State for a lot of reasons, Mike. And, I got some flack yesterday because people, I think, misconstrued some of what I was saying, but it's a non-conference game, but if you're a glass half full Boise State fan, or if you're a Boise State, player coach trying to, still think that you have big things you can do in this season. I said yesterday, do I think it will happen? No. But in this scenario, if Boise State were to run the table, I think they would still be in the mix for a group of 5 spot in the New Year's Six bowl game. I don't think it's going to happen, but if you have ranked wins over Air Force, ranked wins over Fresno State, and you're on an 8-game winning streak or whatever, and you're 11-2 after winning the Mountain West, I'm not sure there's a team in another non-Power 5 conference, Tulane, whoever, that would potentially knock them off. So is it going to happen? I would put it at 2%. But if you're looking for something to still play for nationally, I think technically those hopes are still alive, Mike Prater.
You know, I'd love to sit here and poke holes in your theory, but I think you're 1,000% right on. And more importantly, closer to home, this is a vibe game, and it really means nothing in the football standings for the Mountain West. We know that. The big picture, that's a good thought. If they win this football game and go on a roll and win out, I think that they would go to whatever it is at the Fiesta Bowl or Peach or whatever it is this year. There's no doubt in my mind. There's nobody in the American Athletic that would pass them if Boise State wins at Memphis and then closes out the season. And we know what the Mountain West track record is. So, but to me, it's most about the vibe and the fan base. And, we all know that the basketball season is lurking and there's magical excitement for this basketball season. But if this football team loses, that's going to just kill a lot of fan bases. I can't wait to see what the attendance is. If they win, I think they spark more of that massive interest. Right now, it's kind of just right there. The hardcores are still tuned in, but the bandwagon jumpers, the fans are just dying for something good. If they can win on Saturday, I think that's really good. I think they're going to be fine in the Mountain West season. I don't know about undefeated, but they're going to be just fine.
Jordan says New York 6 would be huge, but he's hoping for the LA Bowl versus Colorado. Coach Prime versus Coach Avalos. What do you make of that?
Yes! Sign me up for that right now. If you told me that would be the situation, I am all for that. Any kind of game against Prime would be spectacular. So, yeah, I mean, I can see Prime finishing, 4th, 5th, and 6th, or what? It's probably 5th or 6th.
It's 6th.
Is it 6th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see him finishing right there. So he's not going to cruise through this Pac-12 season, I don't think, but we'll see how it shakes out. That'd be a blast, BJ. Yeah, bring it on.
By the way, a little chilly outside taking the kids to the bus today. I don't know about you, Mike Prater, but I love sweatshirt weather. I like it when it's in the 40s, 50s, not like super cold, but when you can wear a long sleeve shirt or a sweatshirt, I'm all about that.
Yep,
and when I checked the weather in Memphis, 91 degrees and sunny on Sunday. It will be, the Midwest humidity is a thing, and I know they're calling it the South. All the players and stuff, I would still call it the Midwest personally as a St. Louis guy. I don't think you're far enough south yet to call it the South. Maybe you can, but
it's only a couple miles from Mississippi, man. It's like 10 miles from Mississippi, right?
I guess so, but you're like a 4-hour drive from St. Louis, and I guess you're a little bit closer south, but I still think of Memphis as a Midwestern city as opposed to a southern city, but maybe I'm wrong on that. But either way, there's going to be a little humidity. There is going to be some heat. I mean, a 3 o'clock, prime afternoon spot, it's going to be 91 degrees on Sunday. It hasn't been a lot of talk about that, but I do think that could be a small side story, some of the heat and humidity on Saturday.
Yeah, that's a good point. It will be a little bit humid. We never talk about that kind of stuff after that season opening games against, whoever they play in the South over the last few years. But it should be an issue. This is why the media lost 10 pounds, thanks to Andy Avalos, because of those inferno practices inside the Cave in Williams. That's the only reason they did those inferno practices. Fire up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He's got the sprinklers going. He's got the heater up. And, Dale Holste from the equipment department's there all night. And it's like 90 degrees and 90% humidity. And they do that, once a week for the entire fall camp, just for 1 3-hour afternoon in Memphis. So I don't know how much that plays into it. I think it plays into it psychologically. It's like you walk into Memphis's football stadium under those conditions. It's like, oh, yeah, I remember that from a few weeks ago. But you still have to take care of your body, hydrate, take care of all that other kind of business as well.
If they're doing it to help the media lose 10 pounds, I wish they'd do it another time or two because
what I said.
He's Mike Prater. My name is BJ Rains. Again, Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. We hope you'll follow us on our social media channels. Make sure you follow KTIK as well on their YouTube channel. You can check out their daily video segment that they have going. And so we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. So both our channels here. Make sure you follow us on social media. We've got the little subscribe button in the corner of the screen if you're watching on the BNN YouTube right now. I say it every time, but if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, we cannot take your comments on the show. We cannot take them on the chat. So you need to move over and start watching exclusively on YouTube. I think eventually we're going to just cut the broadcast altogether from Facebook and Twitter. So get on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, and that's where we can see and you can a lot of times we don't get to the comments, Prater, but folks are chatting back and forth with each other in the chat there. It's a little online community of Boise State fans chatting back and forth. And we hope you will join that on the BNN YouTube channel. Again, it's just youtube.com/BroncoNationNews. Bronco Nation News. Bronco Ray says, don't get BJ started about the team leaving today. I guess I have no problem with it. I just, my problem was more with the talk about how far away they're going and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's a less than 3 hour flight, I'm guessing, today for the team to go all the way. I mean, you're not going to Florida. You're going to Memphis, which, as I said, is still pretty much, in my part, in the middle part of the country. So it's a longer road trip than normal, but it's an extra hour flight probably from going to, Colorado State or somewhere. I mean, I don't think it's as like you're going to play in New York or the East Coast or Florida or something. So I think that part was a little overblown earlier in the week from the coaches and stuff about how far of a trip it is. But they're going Thursday, and maybe because of the heat, they'll acclimate themselves a little bit and maybe do that team trip to Graceland this evening. Yeah, right. But no, I think with an afternoon game on Saturday as well. I mean, if you got the budget, you might as well go today and make sure that you're 100% ready to go for Saturday.
Yeah, no, I like it. There's no issues with it whatsoever. We do know that Andy Avalos has kind of a loose policy of if they go 2 time zones or more, that they're going to go on a Thursday. This one's kind of right on the border. We can debate. It's probably in that gray zone. Is it short? Is it long? Whatever. The afternoon game to me would be the tiebreaker. I mean, they're going to have to get up early and do their thing. So I like it. It means Boise State can afford it. Anytime Boise State can afford something, whether it's the beach volleyball team, the cross country team, or Boise State football going to haunt Elvis Presley at Graceland, bring it on. I like it a lot.
I want to talk about Ashton Jeanty, his greatness, what it means for his NIL opportunities, if he's going to even be at Boise State next year, and what are we witnessing in terms of the greatness of Ashton Jeanty. But we'll do that first. Here's a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back in 90 seconds. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, Mike, Ashton Jeanty putting together some unbelievable numbers to start the season. Historic numbers, depending on what you look at, leading the nation in a lot of categories. And I listen to the post-game show. I always do. I like that you guys post that online after you guys finish that. It was a little short for my liking. I think it should have been a little longer. Mike, you could have talked for hours after that game. Come on. You got to get Mike Prater to bed at a decent hour, I guess. But that's a topic.
No. Don't bring that up. That's a sensitive subject around here. Let's move on, BJ.
All right. Well, I was just kidding around. I didn't know there was something else behind it. But I loved it. It was great stuff. Always enjoy it. I could take 5 hours of Idaho sports talk. I could take 5 hours of post-game shows. And you guys were talking Ashton Jeanty, and unless I misheard, because it was late at night, and but I heard the words Heisman and Ashton Jeanty in the same conversation. You mentioned that you're a voter and that he's at least on your watch list, I believe. Not putting words in your mouth, not saying you're voting for him or that he's the favorite right now, whatever. But even the fact that as a Heisman Trophy voter, you are bringing up the watch list and Ashton Jeanty, pretty incredible that we've already reached that point through 4 games. He's on your watch list at least right now.
Yeah, and I'm not into hyperbole. You know me, and I'm not even sure I put Ian Johnson or Kellen Moore on my watch list back in the days, but I probably did. I certainly didn't vote for him. I think maybe that year that Kellen went to New York, I voted for him for 3rd. But Yeah, when I said that, I cringed a little bit myself. It's early. It's Boise State. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Ashton Jeanty is going to even compete for the Heisman. So I did say watch list. I'm one of those, July watch list guys that has 150 players on my watch list. But the reason why I put him on my watch list in all seriousness is right now, production-wise, he's the best, if not one of the best running backs in all of college football. We all know his stats, number one in this, number one in that. And if he keeps this up for 12 games, 14 games, he's going to get some conversation. Ian Johnson got Heisman votes. Kellen Moore got to New York. It can happen, guys. And Ashton Jeanty is having that kind of magical season. Today on Idaho Sports Talk, we're going to do the oral history of Jay Ajayi's magical 2014 season. Right now, Ashton Jeanty is on pace and in some particular stats and some particular numbers, even ahead of Jay Ajayi. Now, Jay Ajayi had a monster middle season and a monster finish. That's the rub here with Ashton Jeanty. He's got to do the same, but I'd put him on my Heisman list. I'm going to talk about him. Running backs don't win it anymore, so why not have a little bit of fun with what we think is pretty special dude right now?
You said if he can keep it up through a 12, 13, 14-game season. Do you think he can?
He's built like it. I think he's got the attitude for it, the mind for it. I think he checks all the boxes. Yes. Now, is it that one magic or that one miserable play where he gets hurt? Yeah, that could certainly put a hamper into it, but I think he can do it. I think he wants to be a workhorse. I don't know how much of a workhorse that, Andy Avalos and Bush Handom want to be. If this was Brian Harson's football team, that dude loved workhorses. He loved Ajayi in 14. He loved McNichols right after that. He loved Alexander Madison, and he worked him as he should have. When you got a special back like that in college, it's the human side says, okay, save a little bit of his tread for the NFL, but no, he's here. He's us. He's ours. And let's load him up. So if the mentality for Bush and Andy is to work him like crazy, I think he's got the right vibe. If he stays healthy, heck yeah, BJ, absolutely.
Mike Sanford has told this story a couple of times, and he was the OC, obviously, of the 14 Fiesta Bowl team, and the one calling the plays to run Jay Ajayi into the ground, so to speak, that year. I think he said maybe even on the preseason show when you were still on there, I forget, but he mentioned that when at one point during the season, a NFL scout that year was like in the building talking to him about Jay Ajayi, and he said, "You're going to leave any tread on those tires for us?" And and you know what? Like, there is two sides of it, but when you're in the middle of a season and you're Bush Hamden, like, you got to win games right now. You can't worry. I mean, you can't necessarily worry about Ashton Jeanty's NFL career and what you're doing to it by those extra 3 or 4 carries a game. They've got to win games, and if their best offense, their best way to move the football and score points is to keep feeding Ashton Jeanty, and other teams continue to not find ways to stop him, you got to keep feeding Ashton Jeanty.
Absolutely. And I think that they will. And even in Jay Ajayi's magical 2014 season, he had only like probably 3 or 4 games where he had more than 30 touches. And I think the most touches he had that entire season, we're talking catches and runs, was 37. He went as low as 18 in one game. Later in the season, he kind of petered out as the coaching staff probably tried to protect his legs a little bit. So it is tough. It's really brutal. It's a long season. It's 14 games, 13 games. But absolutely, I'm riding him as much as I can, probably 25 touches, 20 to 25 carries a game, and 5 to 8 targets. And I think that's beautiful. Let him do the rest of the work. It's amazing the kind of production he can get with one touch. 75-yard touchdown. Yeah, I'd like to see more of that, please.
Yeah, I rewatched that game last night. Finally had a chance to rewatch the San Diego State game, and there were 3 or 4 runs where they were just incredible. I mean, it was just like, wow. I mean, the one where it should have been a 6-yard loss, where he's wrapped up in the backfield, turns that into a 6-yard gain to get a first down. The 158-yard touchdown run where he hit the hole, and then he literally shed like 4 tackles, and then just kind of, I like how he kind of taunted the guy and jogged into the end zone at the end because he knew the guy couldn't catch him. So it's pretty fascinating. Enjoy it while we can, and I think that's the next topic here, Mike. Enjoy it while we can. I'm not sure we expect Ashton Jeanty to be here 4 years. I think right now, if you're a Boise State fan hoping for the best, I think you're hoping to at least have him around next year too. Obviously cannot go to the NFL till after the 2024 season, but in the new era of NIL deals, the transfer portal, I hate to even bring it up, but I know there are a lot of fans out there that are a little nervous about this. And let's be honest, Mike, when the one-time transfer / NIL era started, I think this was a scenario 3-4 years ago, not necessarily about Ashton Jeanty, but just about a player in general that worried a school like Boise State. You find these diamond in the roughs, you find these guys, you recruit them, you get them to play and become stars, and then other schools realized, oh, we missed on him, but now we can offer more, and they can try to woo these players to go to their school for a year or two and capitalize off that. And, again, not to say Ashton Jeanty is going to leave, wanting to leave, who knows? But, from the state of Texas, there's a lot of Power 5 schools in the state of Texas now that might have opportunities and interest in him. I don't know if did you see the Blake Anderson tweet yesterday where somebody's the Utah State coach, somebody had said, oh, I wonder if there's coaches around the schools around the country that literally just have coaches scouting group of 5 games and looking for that next guy they can woo. And Blake Anderson, the Utah State coach, which makes you think it's probably happened to him, writes back, yes, they do. So other schools are aware of Ashton Jeanty now. And again, we'd be lying if we say we know everything there is to know about the character and the family and all this of Ashton Jeanty. We talk to him for 10 minutes once a week, but he seems like a good dude with his head on his shoulders. He obviously is best friends with Taylon Green. But I think this scenario came up, and to this point, Boise State has not been beat by the transfer portal very much. The guys they've lost, a couple went to BYU and are doing okay, but they have not lost like that star player in football or in basketball. They lost one, I think the sixth man, contributing player in women's basketball last year, and they lost Jade Lavelle a couple of years ago, the leading scorer. But for the most part, Boise State in general has not really had that fear come to fruition yet where they've lost anybody, and so maybe we're worrying about nothing. But I think it's a fair topic to discuss, and I think it's a fair concern for shows like this, Mike, that the Boise State needs to be doing everything they can. The businesses need to be doing everything they can, because in this new era, if you don't take care of them, some other school will. And Ashton Jeanty and being here in 2024 is a big deal, I think.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And it will happen. It'll eventually happen. Boise State will lose a star football player to a Power 5 program, and it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful. It's going to suck. It's going to be that gut punch that's just going to make us all sick. And it certainly could happen to Ashton Jeanty for all the right reasons that you just pointed out. I don't. Right now, I would predict that no, it wouldn't happen. And you said to me the two magical words, Taylon Green. Taylon Green's future probably would dictate Ashton Jeanty. If Taylon Green, let's say something gets a little squirrely with Taylon Green and he just isn't developing right, or just the fit isn't right, and he decides to go, or maybe it's a package deal here or there. I think their friendship, and beyond their friendship, the Breezy Dubars and the Eric McAllisters, the Texas quad, however you want to put it. I know they talk about the Texas threesome, but those guys can all be really tight from Texas and maybe work together as a group. The scary part is that Ashton Jeanty right now, in name, image, and likeness, as far as I can tell, is getting some hat stuff, some T-shirt stuff, and a hoodie.
I don't here and there.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting much at all. And I promise you, I absolutely promise you, when talking to people in this business, and you probably talk to a lot of the same people, BJ, after this season, if it already hasn't happened, Ashton Jeanty will be offered more than $100,000 and a car, at least, at the very, very minimum. Whether he takes that or not, that's going to be hard for him. That's the standard operating procedure with star football players anymore. That's where the conversation starts. $100,000 and a car. That is the name, image, and likeness game that the big boys are playing. And Boise State's getting them hoodies and some food, a little bit of food, a slice of pizza, a T-shirt, and a hat. That's where it has to step up, and I don't think that this community can. So it comes back to Ashton Jeanty and his commitment and his loyalty to this program and his loyalty to his teammates. And right now, everything that we see points in the right direction, but we're all on our heels just waiting for the bad news. I just hope it doesn't come.
And in fairness to local businesses and things, like, he was a freshman last year. You want to see him play out a little bit. You're not going to give him a lot of money after last year just as a freshman. Let's see it a little more. And he wasn't really, I don't think, after last year necessarily yet the face of Boise State football. But now he is. And I know in season it's kind of hard to do some of these deals, but I think you're right. Yep. Some things need to happen here moving forward. And I think they will. I think Ashton Jeanty stays. I'm not trying to imply that he's leaving or I know something. I have no insight on that at all. Talked to him one time when he, signed with Boise State. He was very honest, said he was sticking with Boise State no matter what, and he did. So I'm going to take the kid at his word, and I have no reason to believe he won't be here, because I do think some deals will step up. Will he potentially even get offered more money elsewhere? Probably will, but he doesn't seem like the guy with 1 year that would probably leave. But again, I'd be lying if I said I truly knew inside Ashton Jeanty's mind what he's thinking about all that. But I think it's a fair concern, but I don't think that yet. You're right. At some point, it will bite Boise State, but I don't think it will here. I think Talon Green and Ashton Jeanty are both back next year as two of the better profiled stars in the Mountain West and on the West Coast, to be honest with that. But some of the Boise State coaches making their return to the Liberty Bowl. Big game on Memphis. We got about 5 minutes left. I want to discuss Andy Avalos' interception return with Mike Prater here. And well, he didn't have the interception return with Mike Prater, but he had the interception return against Louisville. Mike Prater throwing the lead block for him probably would have helped for sure him get to the end zone on that. But we'll do that in just a second. I first want to tell you about our friends, Ball Ventures Allquist, Thursdays, sponsored by BVA here on Bronco Nation News, Idaho's premier real estate development company. They've got over 10 projects and 3.9 million planned square feet of construction in the Treasure Valley since the company's inception in 2018. BVA has already made an incredible impact on Idaho's commercial real estate market. They specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. So if you need a developer, you're looking for new space, think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. Taco Bell, they're doing a lot as well for the local community. The Nicolason family, SON Management, proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. They were one of the first to make the 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society. They're stepping up their commitment with the student-athlete scholarships for the men's and women's basketball team, committing at least $310,000 to student-athlete scholarships by 2026. So get more information on their financial support of Boise State Athletics. Find information on applying to work at Taco Bell. They're looking to hire right now at TacoBellWorks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, we talk about NIL deals. Well, they're taking care of Paige Barsh there on the volleyball team, Talon Green, Riley Smith on the football team, driving some Ford vehicles. So check them out. Lithia Ford of Boise, proud supporter of Boise State Athletics, the official car and truck of the Broncos. Raines family, obviously happy with our F-150 we purchased from Lithia Ford. And you can get the electric F-150 Lightning, the electric Mustang Mach-E, which Talon Green said would be a good choice for Ashton Jeanty for his NIL deal, the all-electric Mustang Mach-E. So check them out, LithiaFordBoise.com, to view that full inventory of vehicles. And I'm jealous, Mike Prater, of our friend Travis Hawks. He got picked to go on the team plane today. They take some of the boosters, some of the big donors with them on each road trip. And this will be the first time, I believe, he's gotten to do this with the team. But Travis Hawks and company, the Blue and Orange Store, the blueandorangestore.com, free shipping, any order over $40, or you can check them out there at the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall. And they got all the new Nike gear, the hats, jerseys, bumper stickers, car flags, anything you need. They've got it at the Blue and Orange Store. And also, don't forget about Lean Feast. If you're looking for some good, healthy meals, my wife walked in the door yesterday with like 10 meals from Lean Feast in a bag, and it felt like Christmas. LeanFeast.com/Meridian. Check them out. You can do it all online. Go check them out online, and they'll deliver it to you in a couple hours. You never even have to go into the store, or you can go check them out in person on Eagle Road, there near Ustick Road, and in Meridian, and you can pick how much of what you want, and it's all healthy. Chicken, steak, fish, over 10,000 combinations of meals, and it's fully customized. These are not the frozen meals you get in the freezer. These are all healthy, fully customizable, and they're good for 5 days in the fridge. And we, again, thank our friends over at Lean Feast and leanfeast.com/Meridian. Okay, Prater, Andy Avalos, Jordan K has a story coming out today. He talked to a lot of players involved in that game. I asked Andy about it. He actually talked more about it at media days. He was ready to kind of not really talk about it much on Monday when I asked him about it again. But what are your thoughts and what are your memories of the Liberty Bowl, Boise State almost knocking off number 10 Louisville, and one of the more famous plays in Boise State history, certainly one of the moment everybody remembers from Andy Avalos' career, the 92-yard touchdown return, interception return for a touchdown in the Liberty Bowl. Andy Avalos making his return. It's the first Boise State Memphis game ever, but the second time for Boise State playing in the Liberty Bowl there.
Yeah, that was a very cool moment, and it was kind of bittersweet. I mean, not to take it personally, but that was the first bowl game that I hadn't covered for Boise State since I took the beat in 1994. I was on the Olympic beat and made the transition to Cubicleville and a sports editor. So what an unbelievable football game to miss. I think it was, 44-40. Yep. Boise State was, I don't want to say lucky to keep it that close. This was an unbelievable football game with more than 20 future NFL football players on these rosters. But Boise State had the 92-yard interception return from Avalos. I believe that was like one of the last plays of the first quarter. Brad Lau had a fumble recovery in the end zone to get a touchdown. So there's 14 points right there. Take away those two crazy plays, and it's 44-30 30, or it's a little bit different of a game, 44-26. But Boise State competed really hard on the big stage. It was a physical battle. Louisville was just stacked and loaded LaFleur's and a whole bunch of other football players. But Andy Avalos rumbling and stumbling for 92 yards. I know he's in really good shape right now. I know he's not quite an old man, but I'd like to see Andy Avalos run 92 yards right now.
How many players were in that? It was a star-studded game too, right?
I remember, and I know back in the day, we did stories, but I'm almost positive there were there were more than 20 future NFL football players. I mean, look at the defense for Boise State. I got a list of it right here. Just the defensive players on Boise State.
You guys are going to be talking about this on tomorrow's show, correct?
Yeah. Chris Carr, Corey Hall, Andy Avalos, Gabe Franklin, Gerald Alex Guerrero. I mean, those are some of the Marty Tadman. Those were some of the Boise State defensive players just in that game, not to mention the offensive players and certainly the star power they had over there on Louisville. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Avalos' interception, and we're going to get after that. Some great memories for fans in that game. Here's the sad part, though. So many different people. That's a 65,000-seat stadium, and right now they're averaging about 25,000. I'm afraid Saturday's atmosphere is going to be it's not what you expect when you go to the Liberty Bowl. It's going to be half dead, guys. And Boise State, we don't talk about that at all this week. Boise State's going to really have to police its own momentum. It's not the Liberty Bowl that you thought it was before, guys.
It is a huge stadium. I was there, like I said, last year for the Liberty Bowl, and it is a massive stadium that if you're running decks or stairs in that thing, man, it just one of those classic stadiums that just has the big bowl that just keeps going up on the sides. And so, yeah, that will be curious. Mike Sanford, by the way, was on that team as well. And I don't know if you knew this or not, Mike, but on the ball talk show with Sanford and Johnny, they're doing a little Circus Sports kind of pick six, having some fun, making some weekly picks. And they both put something up for the winner at the end of the season. And if John Mallory wins the Pick'em contest, he gets the authentic, actual game jersey from the Liberty Bowl from Mike Sanford. So he gets a Mike Sanford throwback with the Liberty Bowl logo right there. He was showing it to us on the show. So if Sanford wins, Johnny has to buy him an authentic San Francisco Giants jersey, a player of his choice online. So they got a little jersey competition going. And a quick shout out on the way out the door here. Speaking of Mike Sanford, he has committed. We're really excited about this. The Colorado State game in a couple of weeks. He lives in the area. He is going to be on both the pregame and the postgame shows live from the stadium there in Colorado. So for the first time in history, Mike Sanford getting a media pass and is going to be hanging out with the media for the Colorado State game. Looking forward to that. So we'll be getting pregame, postgame insight from Mike Sanford. I know he's looking forward to maybe going on the field too and seeing Andy and Bush and some of his former teammates and players there before the game. But looking forward to that as well. 3-6, Idaho Sports Talk today. You mentioned the Jay Ajayi retrospect, looking back at his 2014 season. What all we got coming up, Idaho Sports Talk today?
Yeah, definitely going to focus on Ashton Jeanty, and is he really having this magical season that Jay Ajayi did? So we're going to go back and examine Jay Ajayi's 2014 season, broke it down. I looked at every game, every box score, almost every stinking play. There's some amazing stats. Did you know, by the way, 2014, the longest season in Boise State football history. And Jay Ajayi had the workload that has never been happening at Boise State football. It truly was a blue-collar, workman-like type football game. We're going to tap into that today, and then tomorrow on Idaho Sports Talk, getting you ready. We'll play around with that Andy Avalos interception, and then you're going to join us on Idaho Sports Talk with the Bronco Nation News Report. So you're going to be doing it live from Memphis. Let's make us smarter about this football game, BJ.
Yeah, it may actually be 40,000 feet somewhere over Colorado at that point, so we may have to tape that tomorrow, just in all transparency. But we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out tomorrow. But yeah, happy to join you guys and looking forward to getting down there. It's a quick trip. Get in Friday night, leave early Sunday. But looking forward to seeing the game down there at Memphis. Boise State trying to get to 3-2, get a little momentum going before conference play resumes against San Jose next week. So we'll be listening, Mike, 3-6 today. Idaho Sports Talk. Appreciate you. You and Johnny, Prater, Bob will have a great show today. We'll see you down at interviews here in a little bit. And then, as you said, I'll join you at 4:15 tomorrow on Idaho Sports Talk. So have a great day, Mike. Have a great day, JP. Have a great day to all of you listeners and viewers for watching us. Make sure you're listening to them at 3 o'clock. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. We'll get the interviews from the players and coaches today posted a little later this afternoon on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. So have a great day. Go subscribe. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, Bronco Nation.